This is Sweet Beats from the Analog Only Forum, and this is a quick video user guide on using these custom Power Supply PCB extender cables for the Tascam 388. And before I go into anything else, I just got to tell you, these are clearly not an authorized Tascam tool, and I can assume no liability if you cook your gear using these cables. I hope you don't cook your gear, but that's why I'm shooting this video, to help you out. So you're looking at the finished product. That's the Power Supply PCB sitting up on top of the meter bridge. Just note that all my audio cards and amp cards are out right now because I'm still working on this, but I just tested it out and it works great. So let's look at the finished product, and then we'll kind of tear it back to how you put it together. But you want to get some kind of non-conductive something to sit on top of the meter bridge here to set the PCB on. I've got a couple of pieces of wood here. You can use cardboard, anything you want. There are 5 cables, and I've labeled them P2 through P6. You can see right there. And then there's a line. See these lines here, here, here. Those lines are actually numeral 1s to correspond with the scripting on the PCB for pin 1. Always line up the 1 on the connector with the 1 on the PCB. Also note that these connectors on the PCB are also labeled P6, P5, all the way to P2, just like these. So just to keep things straight when you're hooking this up, just always put the correct plug with the correct jack. And then I was just grabbing from spare parts to put these things together. So these brown things here are actually for 6-pin connectors. And P2, 3, 4, and 5 are actually 5-pin connectors. So just pay attention here. I cut a notch out of this here, so that's just a visual reminder for you. Don't offset these things. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to check, recheck, check again, go to the bathroom, have a cup of coffee, get your buddy to come and check it for you, and then check it again yourself. Okay? This is not what you want, putting it on like this. Again, this is not a foolproof diagnostic piece of equipment, these extender cables. They can be put on the wrong way, so pay attention to what you're doing. And then what I've found, I'll get these all unplugged here. You're probably going to want to remove your what is this? Is this the cap servo PCB? This is the one that goes, this is the slot right here, right next to the transformer where the Power Supply PCB goes. It's the first one on the right, first pull-out card. And then the one next to it here, which I'm blanking. What is that? Okay, that's the real servo PCB, but you're probably going to want to pull that out so you can get to things a little bit better in here. Because it'll be a little tight to put these cables in otherwise. And normally your 2 bias cards are right here, and like I said, I've got all my cards out right now. But you'd have this space in here, and I don't know if you can see here. There. So there's all the cables installed. And likewise, the motherboard down here is labeled P2 up to P6. And I have labeled these. P2. Okay, just like the other end of it. P2, and again I've marked pin 1, and I've marked pin 1 on that also. Okay, the motherboard's not marked with the pin numbers, so just remember they go on here. I mean, you can look at the PCB card and see how it goes on there, and just make sure you get the correct wire with the correct pin. And just for logic's sake, visual logic, what I did this end of the cable is the equivalent of, okay, we're looking at P2, so let's keep things straight. This is P2 here. This end of the cable is the equivalent of this. Notice how there are 2 bumps here, 2 bumps here. So just visually think about it going on, how it looks when the card goes on. Just keep it oriented the same way. Your label on this plug is going to face to the right side. It's going to face the power transformer. And then as you're putting these things on, please, please, please just make sure that you're careful and that you don't offset them when you're putting them on. It's pretty easy to do if you're not paying attention. Okay, like, let's see. I don't know if you can see, but like this one here, see, that one's offset by 1 pin. That will most likely fry something forever. And I know I'm not going to know how to fix it. So when you're putting these on, just be careful. And make sure that it looks right. Like I said, check it again, get somebody else to look at it. I don't care what you do, I just don't want you frying your equipment. So, that's how it goes.